Yeah, I believe in you. I don't believe in lucky sevens. I'm not sure about Loch Ness, but I know I believe in angels. I believe in happiness.
Good evening, everybody. It's wonderful to see you. Live is live, right? I pressed the wrong button and then it's just, oh, I absolutely love that you watch the show, and I want to make sure that you see every single episode. So please go to YouTube, search the Caffeinated Cooper Show channel and ring that bell. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you never ever miss a live show, because here is what is so wonderful about the live shows. Oh, an old friend, Derek. Hello. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for watching. Tell all of your friends, please share the show. I will send you a nice little gift box. It's great to see you, Derek. So as I was saying, make sure that you never miss a show at all, because what's so great about these live shows is that it's interactive. We already have so many people connected this evening, and I'm just excited, as you are, to meet Jodi Tiahrt. She is connected with us. She is fabulous. I can't wait to bring her out tonight. But first, we will speak about and look at the website for our sponsor. So I've got to give a shout out to the sponsor this evening, which is Kogo Coco. And as I've mentioned before, because they've been with us for so many years now, I love Kogo Coco because it is designed and developed by an active military person. And I will say person because when I interviewed the man who developed this product, he was on an encrypted phone, would not tell me his name, and I can't find it anywhere. I've looked. I love research. I love that true journalism heart of researching to find the scoop, right? I don't know who this guy is. He is completely hidden. And so I found that fabulous. But he told me, he said, we need a product in our MREs, which is the meals that our active military have when they're out in the field. And, he said, they're okay. They're edible. You've got to eat when you're out there working, right? But I wanted something that would give a nice caffeine buzz, nothing that's going to leave you crashing. It was healthy. It doesn't have any soy in it. And it was a taste of home, rich and creamy cocoa. So that's exactly what he developed. And I just love this product of Kogo Coco. And so let's go to Kogo Coco. Here's what I found so fascinating. I do have my card that I am going to read to you, but I thought these frequently asked questions on their website was really interesting. So he says, question, what is the amount of calories per packet? It's 110 calories per packet. Approximately 18 months is its shelf life. There's 98 milligrams of caffeine, which is the average amount in a cup of coffee. So regular hot cocoa has 4 to 6 milligrams of caffeine, and Kogo Coco is free of all artificial sweeteners. If you look down here, Kogo Coco does not contain any high fructose corn syrup. The corn syrup solids in Kogo have 0 fructose, and it is soy free. So go to Kogo Coco to order your Kogo Coco today. It's also available on Amazon, and it's really rich and creamy. I'm looking at my notes here. I love that it's U.S. Armed Forces veteran developed and owned. I love that. So buy USA made. Go visit Kogo Coco today. All right. So without any further ado, and yes, MRE, meals ready to eat. Thank you very much. I had the acronym floating around in the brain there, but I wasn't sure that I was 100% correct, so I wasn't going to let the words out. But yes, meals ready to eat. So I have the lovely, absolutely beautiful Jodi Tiahrt connected with us this evening. And Jodi, she's a celebrity trainer, lifestyle coach, media host, product representative, and so much more. She's connected with us this evening. Jodi has, and this is quoted from joditiahrt.com. That's JODITIAHRT.com. 20 years of experience as a certified personal trainer and nutritionist. My website, she's speaking in this quote, of course, is designed to inspire you to achieve your health and fitness goals. My workouts and nutrition programs are designed to fit your personal goals and not a typical cookie cutter program. Getting to know Jodi just a little bit more as I was digging around, seeing what I can find, I found that she has this to say about herself on LinkedIn. I have competed in 28 fitness shows. Now, this was on her LinkedIn, and I believe this was from January 2020. 28 fitness shows. Okay, that's a lot. But listen to this. In the last 3 years, 40 plus shows since I started in fitness, and I have 31 first place wins. I have been a TV spokesmodel, on-air personality, product representative, including Quest low-carb protein bars, and a health and fitness advisor for several large publications, as well as a private trainer and coach. There are more publications than I can count that Miss Jodi has been featured in. She's the cover of, it's amazing. So she has given so many countless fabulous interviews. And there's one that I found in the Las Vegas Review Journal. And I love this quote because this is really going to give you a taste of the richness that she has within her character. She said, "When all of my friends were buying homes, I invested all of my earnings as a cocktail server into my business." I love it. She enjoys reading books by the famous Christian author Joel Osteen, and she supports many impactful charities. And without any further ado, welcome the charismatic and drop-dead gorgeous Miss Jodi Tiahrt. How are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I am excited to have you on. My goodness, you have modeled for so many years. You have been on
I have.
covers. You have stayed fit, in prime condition for so many years. It almost seems obvious as to how you got into fitness and nutrition, but I want to hear it from you. How did you start getting into fitness and nutrition and becoming the trainer to stars?
So this is kind of a crazy story, but my background was actually, when I went to college, I was biology pre-medicine. My dad was an eye doctor, and my brother went into medicine, and I was like, well, I'm going into medicine. That's what everybody in the family's doing. And I graduated from South Dakota State University with highest honors. I had a bachelor's degree, a chemistry minor, health science, and a math minor. And at the time when I was in college, I discovered fitness competitions. And one of my friends was a bodybuilder, and he was getting ready for a competition. He's like, you should try the fitness aspect. And I love working out. That was just my thing. I love transforming bodies and feeling how you felt after a good workout. So I entered this competition, and my first competition, I got 4th place. And it was from that moment on, I was kind of hooked into fitness. So from that point forward, I actually did 42 fitness competitions over my time. I did a lot, but I got certified as a personal trainer right in college, and also as a nutritionist. And I loved everything about the body, transforming bodies, learning about nutrition, learning how the body reacts to different foods. And I took the MCATs, and I was getting ready to go to medical school. And I was like, and I remember having a conversation with my dad. He was like, you better really, really love medicine, because, it's expensive to go to medical school. And if you don't love it, I don't want to, go into medical school and then 4 years later be like, oh, it's not for me. So I took a year off from going to school, and like was competing, and started working as a personal trainer. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And my parents were kind of like, you want to be a personal trainer, because I was from South Dakota. So you tell people back there, it wasn't really personal trainers in South Dakota, that you're just going to be a personal trainer. And they're like, oh, I don't know if that's the best decision with your life. But I stuck with it. And, I moved out to Vegas at the time. And then I actually moved to LA for a year. And, people kind of started seeing me going to different events. And it just kind of like, I started training some bigger names in the industry or whatever. And I loved it. I loved helping people. And then I kind of transformed into more working with different nutrition companies. And then what I decided to do, I was doing a lot of modeling and like I said, working for different companies like Quest Nutrition, ANSI Nutrition, Ground-Based Nutrition. I decided like, I'm going to use my background in science and biology, pre-med, and I created my own product. And that's where I came up with Empower, also known as the Crave protein bar. And I created 15 different flavors. They were nationally distributed throughout the United States, and it did, very well. And then obviously Corona hit, and I kind of took a different direction with everything. But yeah, like I said, my background was in biology pre-med. Mm-hmm. And actually, when I moved to Vegas, I went and got my master's degree in exercise physiology because, like I said, I loved everything about health, fitness, the anatomy of the body, nutrition. And still to this day, and it's funny, I still do a lot of reading like every night. And I'm always reading different books on, just different things with health or fitness, just because that's just my thing. I'm still intrigued by all that. I always will be. And yeah, that's kind of like how I got started, and I guess continuing to keep going down that road.
It seems like having a firm background of, like you said, the biology and physiology,
mm-hmm.
nutrition, it's almost putting the machine together. Do you find all of that knowledge to be so helpful of saying, I need to sculpt this area, I need to do this? I mean, is it really coming together like that, where you put a certain type of nutrition, certain type of effort, and you're going to get a better butt, you're going to get stronger shoulders?
It is. I will say this, and I've kind of discovered this more as you age. I always tell clients, you can spend 5 hours in the gym every day, but let's just say you're going and eating McDonald's every single day. It's 90%, I'd say 85 to 90% nutrition and 10% the workout you do, especially as you age. I mean, things change. You really need to fuel your body with, healthy foods. And that's honestly the bottom line. Like I said, I always tell my clients, listen, I'm not going to put you through a workout that I'm going to do unless you really want to. You need to find something that you absolutely love. Let's just say it's bike riding. You love to bike ride every single day, or you love basketball. And if you can eat a healthy, balanced diet, you're going to stay healthy. You're going to stay young and fit. That's the bottom line. If I put you through and tell you got to run 6 miles every single day, but you're eating crap, well, your body is it's eventually going to take a toll on your body. And that's just the bottom line. It's, like I said, it's mainly all nutrition. And it's finding that healthy balance as well.
I find here in America, our American diet is full of a lot of easy to grab, quick and go crap.
Yeah, so it is.
How do you help those clients of yours that have really major hiccups in their relationship with their nutrition? Are there any fixes that you've noticed? Anything that is the biggest, most glaring, common issue? So
this is the thing, what I do when somebody comes to me with their diet. especially if somebody's been, I'll be honest, addicted to sugar and they need sugar every single day. I'm not going to tell somebody that they are going to cut out sugar 100% because honestly, they're probably going to fail. What I do is I tell them, okay, let's just say that, 7 days out of the week, you need that Snickers bar. Let's cut it back this week and let's do 4 days. You can have that Snickers bar and gradually cut it back. I always think people are more likely to change or make changes if it's smaller changes, if that makes sense. But if you tell them, you know what, you're going to only eat boiled chicken and broccoli for, five, 5 times today, are you really going to stick with it? No, you're not. But if you make small changes and make that progress over, a period of a month, 2 months, 3 months, yeah, they can stick with it. They can do it.
Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful perspective. It seems like what has always been leading in, at least as long as I can remember. So I really started taking a notice at a very young age, but still it was the 1980s. And there were so many fad diets that ran through that time. And then the diet pills, the fen-phen, the high caffeine pills, all that kind of stuff. And none of it was a lifestyle change. It seems like we're just sort of emerging into understanding what a lifestyle change is.
Yeah.
So I love what you just said there, because it's not a diet. We're a diet, I think, at least I'm programmed to think it's a hard stop on the bad stuff.
Right. I think as society, when you hear the word diet, we think restrictions and starvation. If you change your mindset and think, okay, this is a lifestyle change. And I always tell people, there's so many different diets out there. When people come to me, well, I want to do a keto diet, or I want to do paleo, or I want to do, the Atkins diet, whatever it is that they are resonating towards. I always ask them, well, why do you want to do that diet? And most of the time they're like, well, my friend got good results and lost all this weight. People need to realize that our bodies are bio-individual, meaning what works for my body probably isn't going to work for your body, and isn't going to work for your husband's body, etc. So what I like to do is I like to go through, talk to that person and be like, okay, what foods do you enjoy? What foods do you find yourself craving? Where do you find your weaknesses? And then building a custom diet around that. Because I think in the long term, you want it to be a lifestyle, meaning this is something that I can sustain the rest of my life. I'm not saying you can't ever have that birthday cake, or you can't have that nice dinner, or whatever it is, but yeah, you know what? You do need to make it a lifestyle, meaning incorporate all the different food groups, unless, a doctor has told you need to specifically stay away from whatever meat or milk or whatever it is, dairy. But like I said, it's learning to create a lifestyle and not feeling deprived or restricted. Live your life, enjoy your life, but do it in moderation.
So I have a question for you, because I've heard it from doctors. I've heard it a little bit in publications and media, but nobody has really ever detailed it finite in a finite sense. A clean diet. What does it mean to eat clean?
Mm-hmm. So to eat clean, I'm not going to say that you can't have, like I said, your cake because it's your birthday this weekend. But what you need to do is you need to incorporate all the food groups. Unless, like I said, the only restriction would be is if your doctor came to you and says, you know what, you have a gluten allergy, you need to stay away from gluten. That would be an example. So then me or somebody you're working with, or you're building your own diet, you obviously eliminate gluten out of your diet. But basically, you want to eat everything in moderation. So when you're looking at, you're going out to eat tonight, and you're going to make a healthy choice, and you're going to pick a protein, let's just say it's, I don't know, salmon. You want the piece of salmon to be about the size of your fist, because that's about 6 ounces. And with your vegetables, always shoot for green vegetables. Green vegetables are always the best. Try to, I'm not going to say don't have your carbs. You can have your baked potato, but think about what you're putting on it. Try to limit maybe the sour cream and the butter. If you need a little bit, okay, you're doing it, whatever, that's okay. But eat balanced nutrition. So make your plate very colorful. So, get those reds in there, greens, all, colors of the rainbow is the best. And eat in moderation. I mean, if you're going out to eat spaghetti tonight, try to avoid eating that huge, plate of spaghetti. Have some salads, have a little bit of soup to go with it, and then limit your amount of pasta that you're having. Eating clean is all about incorporating all the different food groups in moderation. Like I said, the only time you would limit a food group is if, like I said, a doctor would tell you, cut back on your sugar, cut back on the dairy, cut back on the meat, that sort of thing.
So I have a question for you. As far as alcohol, what does alcohol do to your diet? Let's say you've made the lifestyle change, you're eating clean, your plate is full of beautiful colors,
right?
All vegetable variety, and you've got great proteins and good fats. But you like to spend all weekend long and you're just having a great time.
So I will say this about alcohol. Alcohol is like the one food group, I guess, where there's no nutritional value. When you drink alcohol, it turns to sugar, and that's strictly what it is. So I'm not saying you can't go out and have that vodka soda or that glass of wine, that sort of thing. You just need to do it in moderation. So if something that you want to have on your Saturday night, go ahead and have it. That's your vice. Go ahead and have it. I just wouldn't make it a regular routine. Just like, are you going to eat that piece of chocolate cake every single night? No, the effects of eating chocolate cake every single night. Same with alcohol. It's the same thing because there's just no nutritional value, and people don't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. It took a very long time of, looking into it and getting serious with your fitness and just realizing, gosh, I'm putting in so much effort into my workouts. I need to be eating correctly. And it wasn't until probably about 6 years ago. So I was in my 30s and a trainer said to me, he's like, really it's 70% or more is what you put into your mouth.
Yeah, it is.
That's like, oh my gosh, you mean I can just come to this gym and beat myself up for 3 hours a day?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of going to hit a very, very long plateau unless I change my nutrition.
Yes.
What about supplements? Are there any supplements out there, vitamins, anything out there that does really support your metabolism for weight loss or weight maintenance?
So this gets a little tricky. The reason I say that is, I'll be honest, when I was back in the days when I was competing, I used to love the pre-workout drinks and all that crap. And I'll be honest, it's chemical disaster in your body.
Okay.
And I will just say this, from all of that crap, I developed hypothyroidism. I had to learn the hard way. So now, what I will tell you is I am a believer in like green tea or your cup of coffee, that sort of thing. That is going to be one of your best kind of boosts for help your metabolism, to kind of get you going, that sort of thing. And it's natural, obviously. Because I'm a holistic health coach, so I'm a huge believer in the holistic approach. But like I said, I had to learn the hard way. Back in the days when I was doing 3 workouts a day and flipping around and doing all this crazy gymnastic stuff, I needed the energy. And oh yeah, I used to love those pre-workout drinks, but it does take a toll on you, and it does mess with, your body and your thyroid and your, all that. So, it's, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I've noticed that it will, or at least from possibly my case, it can hormonally imbalance, especially a woman, where we need the progesterone and the estrogen to work hand in hand for certain things throughout a monthly course.
And not only that, but men won't tell you this, but I do know this about men. Same thing goes for men. I mean, I hate to say this, but all those things mess up their hormones. And as a man, your testosterone drops. You're going to gain weight. You're going to be tired. You're not going to have the sex drive. It goes for both men and women. So, we're both in the same, but women are just more general to talk about it.
You're absolutely right. I don't know if it's you childbirth or what has opened us up to talk about all of those issues, but you're absolutely right. I know so many men where, boom, they hit 50 and they're falling asleep. They have no energy.
Yeah.
Their bodies take a different shape. It's that estrogen body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting. Once you are keyed into it, you could walk through society, grocery store, whatever, and go, oh, he's got some low T going on there.
Yes.
Low testosterone, because the body is screaming based on where their muscle mass is and where their fat is gathering, that it's just blaring. And I wish that there was more information out there for men. It seems like it's sort of emerging a little bit, but I don't think the conversation is where it needs to be.
Right.
We see a lot of low testosterone commercials, but they want to focus on performance.
Right.
It's so much more than performance.
Right.
How have you had some of those conversations with your male clients?
Well, the first thing I do is when they come to me is I'm like, listen, I want to take a look at your blood work. If you have recent blood work, I can kind of tell to see where you're at and to see where their testosterone levels are at. And that's key for both men and women, because I'll be honest, you have a low testosterone, guess what? You're going to gain weight. And that's going to be, regardless of what kind of diet I put you on, your testosterone is low, guess what? You're not going to be able to get into the shape you want to get into, the shape you want.
Right.
So, it's huge. And people don't, that's the thing. Once you hit I want to say 35, it's like it happens in men and women and no one really wants to talk about it. But I had to, I had to figure all this out myself. And, all the years of competing and I said the pre-workout drinks, they absolutely mess with all your hormones. And if I could go back and redo it, I'd be like, okay, let's redo this. But, I found that happy balance and, but it took me time. Yeah, absolutely. I had days where I felt like crap and I was tired and all that.
I have someone here. He is asking a question. And what would you take if you have low testosterone?
So first thing you want to do is speak to your doctor. I wish I was a doctor and I could be like, okay, here's some, what you need to do. What you want to do is obviously consult with your doctor or find a holistic doctor that does bioidentical hormones. Mm-hmm. I will say this, I'm a huge believer in bioidentical hormones. They've helped me tremendously. Some people are against it. I am for it. And what I would do is if you find a doctor that you like, consult with them and probably start incorporating some testosterone. You can get over-the-counter pills, or you can do, injections or a cream, or there's pills, but definitely speak to your doctor. But, like I said, I'm a big believer in bioidentical hormones. Not everybody is, but I will say this, it's helped me tremendously. I'm a firm believer that's why I stay in great shape at my age, why I stay youthful. So
that's going to be a question I'm going to come to in just a minute, because I want to know the other side. I want to know the female side. So I do have a family member who is doing the injectable, the bioidentical testosterone. Mm-hmm. It has been huge. Let me tell you what I saw. So within the first couple of months, and the way that they do this for him, for the person I know, they, of course, start with blood work through your doctor. And then the doctor referred him to a clinic that he goes once a week, gets shots once a week, and then they will also prescribe the shots to where either he can give himself the shot once a week, or he can go to the clinic and they administer it. A nurse that works there will administer it. And then every several weeks, they take new blood work to make sure that testosterone's at the correct level. That you don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. And you also want to make sure that with the shots, it is rising. Because if it doesn't rise, that could be another issue. So men, please, please, please go talk to your doctor.
Absolutely.
It is so important. I would say 45 or above is when you should really start looking at this. If you sit down, you're tired all the time. You're going after all the salt and then the sugar foods, salt, sugar, putting on that weight in the front and very fluffy. That's the testosterone. That's the estrogen body. Now talk to me, females. We don't talk about not estrogen, but hormone replacement. What are some of the hormone replacements we should be watching out for in our blood work?
Same. I have women that come to me all the time, and I'm like, the first thing I look at is their hormones, and I look at their testosterone, their progesterone levels, and their estrogen levels. You know, you get those out of balance, and it's like you're on this roller coaster. But we want to be like this. We want to be traveling smooth sailing. So same thing for women. Your testosterone drops too low and you have zero. Guess what? You're going to gain weight regardless if you're eating perfectly and working out. You're still going to plateau. You're not going to, change your body the way you want to. Same thing if your estrogen gets too high and your progesterone drops. You need to make sure they're in the healthy range. And like I said, that's something you need to talk to your doctor about. And I, like I said, I'm a big believer in bioidentical hormones. Not everybody is. I will say they've been life-changing for me. I've, suggested it for a lot of my clients. They love it. They've had great results, and they're like, thank you so much for, telling me to do this. So yeah.
I love that. I'm typing this in because I want it up into the broadcast where you're saying, if your progesterone, which I'm assuming, and please educate me if I'm wrong. So for the female, progesterone is going to be our testosterone, or do we also have progesterone and testosterone?
No, we have both. We all have, even men. Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, most times after women turn 35, usually the progesterone starts dropping. The estrogen starts to get a little bit higher, and the testosterone usually drops too. So, and testosterone is like your muscle building. Yeah. It's the one that's going to keep you lean, give you the energy. And then the other ones are kind of like, I almost want to call them like the mood ones. Like, if you're just feeling blah, or, they get out of balance. Yeah, you're going to feel blah. You're going to be tired. You're going to be crabby.
I love that. That is something that's not happening in the women's world. When we go in for our annual checkup with our OBGYN, they're not doing blood work. They're just sort of, they're client talk, we're talking to them and saying, this is how I feel. And they're looking at certain things, but they're not necessarily pulling blood work. So I want to make sure that we're doing that now.
Like I said, I'm a big, huge believer in holistic health. Obviously, I'm a holistic health coach as well. So I see a holistic doctor. And I get my blood work done every almost 3 months, sometimes even sooner than that. I want to make sure that, my hormones are always staying balanced. And if I need something or to take away something, I just want to make sure that I'm always feeling good. It's important for me. I put my health number one on anything in my life more than anything else. Because without your health, you don't have anything. I mean, you're just living. Mm-hmm. And so that's why it's important for me to feel good. Obviously, if I feel good, I want to do things. I want to work out, I want to spend time with my family, etc. I want to go to work. And I think that should be key for everyone, especially, I think we all realize, like, during COVID, like, you don't have your health and I mean, the whole world got shut down because of COVID. It's crazy. So I always tell people, yeah, make your health number one. It should be the number one priority in your life, before your spouse, before your child, because, without your health, you don't have anything.
Oh, that's so true. That's absolutely so true. I do have your website here. I'm going to pull it up for a moment. And this shows some of your modeling shots. And I want to take a look at this. Let me bring this solo to the screen. So there's so many different looks, of course, that you're able to embody here. What I want to know, all right, so this is a picture. It is, I can't bring it up any larger. It goes straight to Instagram. So everybody, your Instagram is scrolling at the bottom if you would like to know how to follow Jodi and make sure that you get all of her posts and all of her information. Now this picture, you have a black sports bra on and leopard shorts. And the physique that you're in is very lean. It's almost reflective to me of that dancer's body.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do anything specifically different from one photo that you see here to another photo? I know people can be so critical in saying, oh, she's had tons of work, or, it's Photoshopped. None of these are that to my eye.
No. A lot of it is, I'll be honest, like lighting or whatever. I'm trying to think of what picture I think I know. Is it a selfie?
It is a selfie. Yes,
okay.
You are taking a picture of
Yeah,
yourself.
it's so funny. I just took that with a selfie, and I don't, it's me, I guess. I don't know. I wish I knew how to do Photoshop.
So for some of the work that you've had in the past, tell me, how old were you when you started modeling?
Oh, geez. I probably right in college when I started competing. So like 20, 21. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, okay. I know. Here I am, still modeling, still doing it.
Yeah, God love you. Yeah, keep doing it. But all right. Now, for all of the shots that have been taken of you, for the competitions, for your modeling, was there anything specific where you're like, okay, this particular shoot, I'm going to have to make sure I focus all my energy or a lot of energy in one particular area? Do you have any stories of what you've had to do, maybe extreme even, for specific shoots?
It'd probably be back to my days of competing. So when I used to compete, I used to be an actual fitness competitor. And so what I would do is I would have to do a bikini round. I would have to do an evening gown round where I'd give a speech, and I'd have to do a 2-minute fitness routine, which combined like gymnastics, the one-arm push-ups, all that stuff. So obviously that was a lot harder on my body than just walking out in a bikini, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I did a lot of extreme, I don't want to say dieting, I just ate very clean. Yeah, I would limit my carbs sometimes during the last week or so before a competition. I would never do a no carb diet or anything like that. But as you got closer to a really big show, yeah, the competition was there. It was hard. And I think it was more the extreme workouts because, there was days where I'd have to practice gymnastics and dance for an hour. I'd have to do cardio for an hour. I'd have to weight train for an hour. I have to incorporate some Pilates to keep up my flexibility. It was a lot on my body, I'll be honest. Mm-hmm. Now, because I've transitioned into more modeling, and my main goal is to just stay fit and healthy and toned. I'm not trying to compete in a bikini competition. I'm not trying to run a marathon or anything like that. What I'm trying to do is to be a good representative of my lifestyle. In fact, I want to say 90 to 95% of my workouts are at home. I do them. I have a tiny little gym in my garage. I do home workouts. I enjoy running outside, that sort of thing. But it's just a lifestyle. And like I said, I eat clean. Mm-hmm. I eat a balanced diet, carbs, fats, proteins, that sort of thing. So like I said, over the years, things have definitely changed from being a competitor to now being just living that lifestyle of being healthy and fit. As we get older, I think we just want to sustain. We just want to feel good. And, I'm a huge focus what's going on the inside, and it will radiate on the outside, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I do have a question though, because you have 31 first place wins. And for so many first place wins, I know a lot of bikini competitors, bodybuilding competitors, and they all talk about that week before the show, like you had mentioned, 0 carbs. Now, it makes you totally crazy, because anybody who's ever studied the brain and what the brain needs to be able to produce the correct hormone balance, especially our happiness.
Right. Absolutely.
It needs a degree of carbohydrates. So what, the lean week, am I saying that right? Is that
it's called peak week?
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Peak week.
I will say this. I was always a natural competitor. And what that means is I only entered competitions where I was drug tested, because I wasn't going to put anything crazy into my body to achieve a certain look. I think you know where I'm going with that. And that's probably the smartest decision I ever made in my life, is like I stayed away from all that crap that could have horrible effects later on in life.
Yeah.
So as far as peak week, I wouldn't do, like I said, I wouldn't do the no carbs. Yeah, the last couple of days, sometimes you have to cut back on your water or whatever, but that would be the most extreme I'd ever get, if that makes sense. I do know bodybuilders would do some crazy, crazy stuff, and that was just kind of against my lifestyle. I always look 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road. How is that going to affect my life today? Is it really worth putting my body through that if it's going to, cause harm in a few years? And it wasn't to me. I was looking long term, what's going to happen to my body? And thank God I did, because I think, being my age and still being able to be, I guess, a fitness representative or fitness model, is something I'm grateful for, because of those decisions I made, years ago.
So I have a question about the long-term effects of steroid use, and your background in science and medicine, and being a nutritionist, board certified. I would love to get your knowledge here as far as what does steroid use do long term. So let's say I'm a 25-year-old. I've gotten into bikini competitions. I love them. I want to get into the bodybuilding competitions, but I need that extra edge. And I'm thinking about using steroids to pump up, to get a little bit more muscle mass in certain areas. But what am I going to be left with, like you said, 20 years down the line? What does it do to a body?
Oh, the sad thing is I've recently had some friends die of, steroid use. And it's sad. And I've talked to women that have done, that even for a couple months, and their voice has changed, that sort of thing. Obviously we're all on our own path. And if that's what you choose to do, that's on you. I am a big no, just because, like I said, when I'm 80, I want to look like I'm 40. Obviously, if you do a lot of steroids, you're not going to be able to do that. It does. They definitely age you. They take a toll on your heart and your liver. And, that's why I personally chose to stay a national competitor all those years. And I think, as I talk to more women or even men about it, and they see that, now that I'm older and I stay away from that, they get it. They're like, okay, makes sense.
Right.
Because you take somebody that used a lot of steroids, over a long period of time, I hate to say this, they might be in their 40s, but they're going to look like they're, 60, 70 years old. And like I said, I've had people that are younger than me recently pass away because of it. And it's sad, all for what? For a title is it really, worth it?
Right. Right. That is sad. That
Yeah.
is very sad because, I think people are thinking that it's okay because they're
Hmm.
doing so much good. They're working out every day. They're
Hmm.
eating clean. And it's, that's another thing that I wish that there was a little bit more of a conversation about as to, okay, it's so prevalent in gyms. I mean,
Oh
I've
yeah, absolutely.
had people hand it to me
Yeah.
and say, you know what, you're so close. If you just take this here, take it with you.
Yeah.
You're going to notice like you're going to be 15 pounds in the right direction, and it's like perfect. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm not really going for perfect. I think it's so hard, especially in the female brain.
Right.
We can look back on pictures from a year or 2 years or 3 years ago and go, gosh, what was I complaining about?
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
it's, um, and that was another question I had about your pictures. You're in such phenomenal shape, and you've been in phenomenal shape for so many years. And through what you've explained to us, and we've chatted about here on this show, you've explained a lot of how you've had that sustainability for so long. But have you had clients bring you pictures and say, I want a butt like hers, and I want legs like hers, and I want these calves? And then kind of have to explain that your body is going to do what your body is going to do.
Correct. Oh, absolutely. And I always have that conversation. Like I kind of brought up early, our bodies, we all have our own genetics and how we respond to food and exercise. And if you came to me and you said, I want to look exactly like you, and I gave you my diet, my workout routine, I said, okay, this is what you're going to do for the next 6 months, and you follow it to a T, you're still not going to look like me. We all, like I said, our bodies respond differently to different foods, to different exercises. And I'm not saying you can't transform, you can. It's just that I'll be honest, like my mother, she always had arms. I would just always remember her. She worked out, but she always had naturally like arms. She just had, and I honestly, I have always had good arm definition. I attribute a lot of it to genetics. My dad was tall and lean, and my brother was very, very lean. I was lucky because I had, somewhat good genetics. But like I said, it has to do with your own individual body and how you respond to, different exercises, different foods you eat, and also what's going on the inside. When, like I said, it goes down also to what's going on the inside, your hormones. Huge, huge impact on how your body's going to respond to exercise.
Well, I would love for you to tell everybody how they can follow you. There are some changes coming to your website, I believe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what are we going to be able to see upcoming? And then if someone's interested, you're in the Las Vegas area.
Correct.
Do you work with anyone through Zoom remotely, or do you work one-on-one?
Yes, absolutely. I don't do, it's crazy since Corona, everybody's kind of like doing more of the online type of thing. I guess everybody kind of wants to stay away. but yes, I do like I said, through phone, through Zoom, however. But my Instagram, it's Jodi Tiahrt Fitness, and then I have a modeling page on Facebook. It's Jodi Tiahrt Modeling. But yeah, like I said, I love still helping people with their diet and their exercise routine, that sort of thing, digging into the holistic side of things with their, with their life and getting them on the right path. And I think people just need to realize, you need to put your health number one. It's all you got. And if 2020 wasn't a wake-up call for all of us, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I've noticed around here. So in the Southeast, we don't naturally have a very clean diet. There's a lot of vegetables, but the natives here in the Southeast like to fry them. So you're kind of going backwards with the vegetables that you're eating. And I noticed there was a lot of weight gain happening here in 2020. And
Yeah.
now people are starting to get fit again. And I'm like, oh, I love it. Because the grocery store I go to is right next to an LA Fitness. So
Nice.
it was interesting. 2019, we were all buff. We were all feeling good, nice and tight.
Mm-hmm.
And then it slipped away. And now I'm seeing the buff ones come back in. And I'm like, oh, I love it. I just absolutely love it. So you're right. This is a great time. Anytime's a great time to decide to make that lifestyle choice. And I encourage everybody to go check you out, go on the website, contact us, follow you on Instagram and Facebook. And we have all of your information. I also have your LinkedIn. So Jodi Tiahrt, which is JodiTiahrt, as well as Jodi Tiahrt Fitness on Instagram. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Have so many people here connected. They're saying thank you so much for all the amazing information. We've had Jane, Yvonne Bunker. She was on here and she loved all the information from you. So thank you so much for helping people out there and doing what you're doing. You look fantastic. I can't wait to see what you're doing in 20 years time. We were talking in the living room a moment ago. It's wonderful to see that, when I was younger, there was a certain look for the mid 30s. There was a certain look for the women who were in their mid 40s. And then you were really, really kind of, you could be a grandmother in your mid 50s. And back then they looked like grandmothers in their mid 50s. They don't anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
For, we were mentioning Christy Brinkley and, the beautiful one.
Cindy Crawford and Jane Fonda. And, yeah.
Yes. Cindy Crawford was the one that I had pictured, but I couldn't get the name out. I just love it. I love that people are embracing healthy eating and fitness, and then you get to look at what that does for you. So thank you so much. This has been really good.
Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome to connect and make new friends and spread a message out there.
Yes. And whenever you have anything new that you would love to come on to the show and tell us about new releases, or maybe you're conditioning for another show, just let me know. I'd love to have you on the show again.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay. You too.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Everybody, thank you so much for being so interactive. This was a wonderful show, Derek. I love to see friends of so many years ago come on to the show and watch it. You have made my evening. Thank you so much. This has been fantastic. We still have the comments coming in. I was just making s'mores with the kids. That is lovely. After effect of some of the stuff that we've gone through in 2020 of being locked down together is that it has really brought our hearts and our homes together, and we're spending so much more time together, and I just love it. As always, guys, we are blessed. You are blessed. Mwah! I love you, and I'll see you next